Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Errol E, and welcome to Every Moment with Errol E. So today is going to be an amazing podcast, a special podcast, and it's for fathers. So happy Father's Day, everybody. So today we have three fathers. They are raising young men, young women, and today I can't wait to introduce everyone. So we have James, we have Tato, and we have Nate. So welcome.
Thank you
Well,
for having
Thank,
us.
thank you,
thank you
Errol.
for having
Thank
me,
you, man.
Errol.
You're
Appreciate
very
that.
welcome.
Thank you, Errol.
So I just want to hit in on this. So what was that moment like when you found out that you was going to be a father? What was that moment when you heard those words where your girlfriend, your wife said, "I am pregnant"? What was the first reaction? And whoever wants to start first, you can start.
Yeah, I'll go first. So for us, we it was a surprise because we had just came back from a birthday trip for my wife from Mexico. So then my wife, she was like, "Hey, we brought a stowaway from Mexico." I'm like, "Stowaway? What are you talking about?" And then she shows me the pregnancy test, and I was like, "Oh!"
That's funny.
I
Wait,
was
so
like,
your child was conceived not in America?
"No."
Wow,
So we our joke is that she's
wow,
our
that's
illegal
funny.
immigrant or illegal aliens.
Oh, that is good.
That's funny, man.
So who
Smuggler in the
was
U.S.
It's great.
so who was to go
Um,
next?
sure, I'll go next. I think my situation is just a little. I actually in today's age, I would say it's realistic. It's not as 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 tough to swallow as I guess maybe 20 years ago. But I became a parent instantly after I graduated high school. So college. Sorry. And so
That's a
my
big
wife,
difference.
she had two already. So me just being thrown into there, it's like being thrown into the wolves, and they ate me up, man. I gotta tell you. I've been chewed up and spit out several times over, man. But
Nice.
it's been the question was how did you feel when you first I looked at it and said this is the woman I love and she has two children, so I love them the same. And I'm gonna figure it out. And
Mhm.
so, I think that's like what any parent does is figure it out. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
that's that's pretty much what I can say about that.
Solid.
Nice. And Nate?
Hey guys. All right. Well, I had a situation with James. Like, I met a beautiful woman, Black Nubian queen.
Come
Um,
on now.
her name
Come
is
on now.
Tiffany, and she has two. She had two beautiful kids, as well, princesses. Uh, and I had to learn to accept that responsibility to be a father, without being a biological father at that time, because those daughters were my daughters as well. So, like you said too, to repeat, I had to figure it out, and lo and behold, I had a child of my own through. So now that's three. So being a
Congratulations, man.
father of three and one more on the way now. So
Oh snap.
Hey.
yeah. So
Hey.
it's a blessing. Being a father is a beautiful thing. I
Yeah.
learned the best because I had a really good father. I had a great father who taught me how to be a man. And so like we don't run from our responsibilities. We man up, and we man up to our situations we face. Uh, whatever challenge it may come, our way. And with God's help, we can do all things. So I believe
Come
that.
on now.
I
Keep
Mhm.
believe
talking,
that.
dude.
I stand on that as word because, you know, I met a strong woman. So now she can help me through along with my journey. So it definitely helps along the way when you have
Mhm.
somebody with you. But being a single
Yeah.
dad, how they do it, but I salute all the single fathers out there and the single moms.
Mm. So awesome, Nate. So that actually leads into a lot of the other questions too, as well, that I have. So one being having that male influence in your life. Now, I know growing up, I never had my father in my life at all. So I am going to be learning from myself, learning from maybe other male
You won't be
figures.
learning from us,
And y'all, yes,
You learn from
but
us,
learning
man.
from other male figures in my life, my friends, everybody.
right.
But what would you say to the people who don't have those strong male influences in their life? Or what about, have you guys had your father pivotally in your life the whole time? And if so,
Oh
how did
man, let
that
me take
shape
this.
you?
Let me take
And
this. Let me take this, y'all.
or if
Let me
not,
take
how did
this.
that shape you? Like how is that?
Right. So my dad, he left my mom, I think, when I was around 6. But I would always, the arrangement was I would see him two weeks out of the month. 2 weekends out of the month, sorry. And then when I became around 16 of age, 16, 17, that dissipated. So I didn't see him at all. And so my mom, though, the genius part about my mom is that she kept me in sports. So I had these father figures that were coaches, and anybody who plays sports, you learn a lot about your character, like fight or flight, like what you can take, what you can endure through sports. And a lot of that, I was able to, those transferable skills, I was able to incorporate in life.
Mm.
And so at the Boys and Girls Club, my basketball coach became a father figure of mine. He was at my wedding. And when I gave my life to Christ, the bishop that I was under, he was a father figure to me. So it was a combination, it was a series of different men in my life that had a pivotal role, like through those chapters of a young man growing up, that led me to where I am today. So I wouldn't say it's a disadvantage for anybody who doesn't have their biological dad in their life, as long as the men in their life are pouring into them and they're a positive influence, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
My cereal.
Awesome.
Yeah, man,
Great words.
that's good. That's good words.
Yes.
I want to answer the question too.
Mhm.
Being like, I know it's hard. I can only imagine how hard it could be to grow up without a father. I had a father most of my life, majority of my life. He was
Ask
very
Shia for
pivotal
it.
part.
Oh,
He was a
sorry,
very
Nate. My
pivotal part of
fault.
my life. No, it's cool. Um, he's a very important part of my life, but I lost my father when I was 21, and so that time that I had was short lived, but that's that short period of time that I did have. I learned as much as he could teach me up to that point, you know. Um, and when I shortly came to Delaware, I think I met you, Errol, and Tado, and everybody else. I didn't have a father back there
Mm.
in college, so um, he didn't get the chance to see me. He got the chance to see me graduate from high school and not go to college. So he led me on to the journey transition into college. So I just learned from that. Um, Whether you have a father or you don't have a father, my heavenly father was the one who basically took the mantle. I had a brother, but no one else came along the way to take up that torch
Mm.
that my father laid. So I had to just learn from God, basically, how to be a man
Right.
from that point on. Yeah. Yep.
Yo, but you know what, Nate, though, man? 'Cause I know the God I serve. It's like
Yeah.
when you say you ain't had nothing, but you didn't have anything but the Heavenly Father to show you, He puts
Yeah.
people in your place, though, right? I mean, He
Yeah.
put people in your path. It was dope, though, man. And I know, Earl, this is your podcast, but I
No,
was
go
thinking
ahead.
earlier, man. It's like when I think about what God is to me, he's peace, he's love, he's understanding, he's guidance, he's wisdom. So it's like anybody that comes across my path, if they giving me wisdom, that's God. If my peace, you know what I'm saying? Like I could be looking outside and the wind blowing, and it's just like this overwhelming sense of peace come over me. That's God. Like I can identify God in my daily life. And so I know there's been people in your life that have come across that have been God.
Oh yeah.
You know, in that moment they give you those tools.
Yeah, definitely. Like my bishop definitely is one person right now that I look at, and the men's group that I'm part of also as well, that helps me gather my thoughts and my feelings and emotions. So definitely, that's definitely my life. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So we hear the words, be a man. Be a man. What does that mean to you? Because that could be taken a whole lot of ways. When people say be a man, especially to a young man, what does that really entail? Does that entail respecting women, respecting your elders, trying hard, doing the right thing? What does that all entail?
Well, I can start this one off. So it's always been in ancient cultures that we've always been grown with the idea of the males, or the head man is the hunter, the gatherer, the provider, the protector, and such. So just based off that, those are the first things that usually come to mind for me. It's like, all right, it's my responsibility as a father is that I need to be able to provide for my family, to make sure that we have food on the table. Protector, now as a protector, you protect different ways. You can protect by what kind of knowledge you put in your kids' heads, like what kind of things are you seeding into their brain, instead of just getting them a whole bunch of nonsense. Or protector as in, like, there's danger and such, or you teach them how to protect themselves, give them the right direction and such. I see a father as a person who just helps give direction to his kids and to his family, one that can be able to be able to do those hard decisions on, like, hey, we gotta cut this out here. We can go this way, go that way. While the mother on the opposite end helps out with on the more like softer things, about allowing things to calm down. Like when a father gets too rigid, she brings him down a little bit. Hey, bring him down a little bit. It's all good. It's all good. So that's how we work together, mother and father, as a centrifugal force.
Yeah, that's that wisdom right there.
That's good.
There's some cultures. There's some cultures when they call their wives, they be like, "That's my wisdom."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I understand
That's
what
good.
you mean, Ty. Though they
Yep.
center you, right? They get you right back in that alignment. Yeah, I get you, man.
Mm-hmm.
I say, when I hear "be a man," I think of like embodying all that you're responsible for and who you're responsible for.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said in the beginning, like not running. I think it was Nate that said not running from your responsibilities, but taking them head on. And I don't know. I mean, I would say that's bravery, right? Like, not knowing exactly what lies ahead, but just whatever comes, I'm gonna tackle it. I'm gonna handle it because I am who I am. I am a man, and that's what you got to do.
Yep.
But it's interesting though. Recently, maybe like a year ago, it was a man of God that told me like that a man is the nurturer. And I used to say, "What are you talking about? Like the woman, the mom, she's the nurturer." And no, he was like, "No, like when you look at it, the man, especially in a two-parent household, they have to console and nurture their wife, so their wife can be in a mental mindset to nurture the children." So like the man is the head nurturer, the man is the provider, but I think it's been perverted. Like what that provision is, it's not necessarily financial. It's everything that needs to be provided. That's what a man does. So yeah, that's what when I hear "be a man," and then when I teach that to my boys in this house, it's just like for at their age, like 12. This one is I don't know, 16 months and the other one's 5. At this point, it's just take responsibility for your choices and decisions. Like every decision you make, own it. You know, good or bad or indifferent. Don't try to pass the buck on to somebody else or blame somebody else for why you made this decision and why you did this. No, you got to take full responsibility. Like hold yourself accountable. And because you hold yourself accountable, it'll steer you in a direction like, oh, maybe I shouldn't make that decision because this could happen to me. Instead of, well, whether I make this decision or not, I'm just going to blame it on this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah,
at
definitely.
this age, it's really just about like when I teach my children, when you be as a man, like as a young man, take full accountability for your choices and decisions. Because at the end of the day, that's what God gave us. That's the only thing He gave us was free will, the ability to choose, right? So it's so much power in choice. And if you take it for granted or try to give somebody else the power, how you gonna call yourself a man?
It's real.
Right.
Real.
Yeah, that's 100%.
Awesome.
And
Wow.
I also echo that too. What Tata was saying was, a woman can calm a man down as well as taking responsibility. I'm learning a lot from you guys. Really, I'm taking all that in and reflecting it on my life and how I could be a better man, how I could be a better father, how I can learn from each other. It's something that it's embedded in us. Like we have to be the provider, we have to be the protector naturally.
Right.
But we're not taught how to be sensitive. We're not taught how to love, how to really deep dig into our soul and actually like show our emotions. Before I wasn't afraid to cry in front of my woman, but now like I'm learning to take off that layer of boldness and take off the masculinity off, take off that layer of clothes that weight that holds me down as a man and society puts on to me as a black man or a man indifferent. If you don't have a job, you can't provide, you're not a man.
Right.
No, who says that? Like there's a lot of people who don't have jobs out here.
Right.
With the COVID-19 hit, a lot of jobs shut down.
Right.
A lot of people lost their jobs. Are you still a man? You take all that off. Are you still a man? Does that make you a man? I used to think that makes me a man, but it doesn't. Being there for your family is what makes you a man. Spending time with your family makes you a man.
That's true.
Quality time. And that COVID-19, basically, we're all in the house every single day, all day. It makes you more of a man than going to work every day because you're spending more time with your kids.
Sure.
Yo, man, that's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true. Actually, it was somebody that told me, it's like, like what Tyler was saying earlier about how a woman calms you down. It was also shared to me. It's like I was on this men's call, and he was saying how the person hosting the meeting, he's a former pastor, but he was saying how like a man they don't get emotional, like overly emotional, like at these times right now with this COVID-19. Anybody that is what's the word? He was not agitated, but like just like in a panic, like in an anxiety state right now. That's not for men to do, especially men of God, because they know different. And so like it's just Nate, like I hear what you're saying at this time is really when I can see children and women looking to, a man for that comfort, that reassurance that everything's gonna be okay.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So I'm glad you mentioned that, James. So with that, how is everyone taking care of their mental health? Because that is a big thing, especially for males. Men, we don't like to maybe show emotion or cry or be like, it's all right, everything's good, we good. But on the inside, it's really like we're hurting, we're breaking down, but we can't show that. So how are you able to take care of your mental health with everything that's going on when it comes to, unfortunately, race and the world and the pandemic, and it's like one thing after another and so much negativity going on? How do you spread the yickety, Tato? How do you spread that positivity around?
Oh, okay. Well, since you put me on the spot with the Yucatan, um, well, all right. So, to be completely honest, when everything first started, it was really tough mentally and emotionally because no one really prepares you for global pandemics or anything else like that. It's not something they give you a handbook. Hey, man, here's what you got to do. Just look at chapter 5. You know what to do after that. This is just one of the things you got to go with the flow. Honestly, what I did instead of overwhelming myself, like, okay, I got to figure something out and getting frantic and panicky, and I have to do this, I have to do that. I actually just took a step back and I took everything really slow and in stride. And what it did, it helped me, one, be able to see, okay, where am I at? Like, where's my family? Where's my business? What's going on? Everything's going slow. I might as well just go to flow and do like that. And that kept me from freaking out because, people losing their jobs. And then
Yeah, man.
I'm like,
Yeah,
great, am I still going to get clients for my business? All this stuff was going in my head, but I was still getting calls. I was like, let me just trust that things are going to be good and just flow with it, because the more you try to fight it, I think the thing is like, it's kind of it's like a river. The river is always giving you different things. You flow with it or you try to fight against it. And when you fight against it, you drown.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just flowing with the river. And once everything started to pick back up, I was like, all right, cool. Now I know what to do and everything and such. For me personally, other ways for me to work on mental health and stuff, I'm a gamer. So I've been doing a lot of late night gaming.
There you go.
And I even got my wife involved, and she's been gaming with me. We've actually beaten a couple games during this time. So
Nice.
it's been stress relief / bonding for me and her. And yeah, that's what I could really say about that.
Nice.
Oh, and that's just touching COVID. Everything else with the protests and injustice and stuff. Being that we're all black men here, this is something that is not new to us per se. Like, we've seen this type of stuff over and over, whether it happened to us directly or happened to friends or family members around us and such. I right now I am, like you said, going with the flow. I see that, trying to help everybody, comfort my young friends and my siblings that are really, really hurt, because I feel like the younger people are really taking it hard to heart, because I feel like it's still the same, it still hurts. And while some people who are older either kind of like, it's been like this, or they're kind of like, it'll be all right. We'll get through this. We got to speak our voices and use our voice, use our power. People are talking about you got to get out there and vote. Some people said we got to get out there and become part of the police force. Some people say we got to be part of the political. We got to do what I've learned is if you want change to happen, you got to be a part of the change. Step forward and do something. So what I feel about right now is I've been encouraging people, if this is what you want to change, go after it. Don't feel bad if somebody goes like, oh, you're doing blah, blah, blah. No, if this is what you feel, go for it. Trust your heart. I mean, you're put in this time period right now to be a part of this for some reason, right? So, take advantage of it, or just let it slide on by.
Yep. Definitely.
Awesome. Well said, man. Well said. So we talked about kind of a little bit like raising a son, but what about raising a daughter? What is that like? Now I know some might have sons, some might run the gamut and only have daughters. But what is that like, raising a daughter, or just watching like a child just grow? What is that like?
Patience.
It takes patience. Now
that's exactly what it is.
Is patience?
Yes.
And when I heard long suffering in the Bible, that's exactly what it is. My daughter is 15 years old right now, and I'm telling you, man, it's like we not seeing the same eye that we used to see when she was like 9 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
It's different, man. I don't know. It's like overnight different. And just patience, brother. Like I honestly stand, like I'm 34 now, And I remember when I was like 18, I used to go over to my grandparents' house. My pop had 5 daughters, and he always used to sit in the same chair. He barely spoke. Now I understand why he sit in that same chair. And he barely spoke.
I
It's just
think
patience, man.
I think also, with being having daughters, there's sensitivity in that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Uh-huh.
where their emotions, they're so attached with their emotions. I dropped my food on the floor. My sister took my toy, and you gotta hear, you gotta listen, As men, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. As everybody, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. We should do more listening than talking. Sometimes if we sit down with our daughter and we clean up her womb, if she falls, she cuts her knee, we can be there as a comforter, and she can see past the pain, So I definitely think
Yeah,
that's good.
I do. I do.
Yeah.
I just know, like, at this age, at 15, Nate, it ain't about I dropped my fork on the floor and crying. It's like social media, high school peer pressure stuff.
Yeah.
Like, am I
Yep.
pretty? And it's like, come on now, what you mean is you pretty? Like, I literally, and this is what's dope though. You get those moments where it's just like wow, I'm a father to a 15-year-old daughter. Like like maybe a month ago, she said, "Dad, I need to talk to you." I'm like, "Cool. What you gotta say?" She said, "Well, it's kind of private." I said, "We gotta wait." So she came back like maybe 2 hours later. I said, "No," I went to her. I said, "So what you want to talk about?" She said, "Can we take a walk?" Like, oh, snap. This is like, yo, she want to take a walk with me and really talk. This is what's up. So we had a conversation that allowed us to increase our bond. And I was like, man, this is dope. But I remember telling her, you're gonna get out of this relationship with me that you put whatever you put in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't expect um whatever type of relationship is supposed to happen if you don't put nothing in. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. You guys. Yeah, that's great advice you gave her.
Yeah. Really good advice. Oh, looks like
Yep.
we lost
Oh, I think
James,
we.
but that's fine.
Okay.
He'll dial back in.
Well,
But
here, hold on. Let me touch in on the daughter thing real quick before
yeah,
you switch up the subject, because I'm a father to 2 beautiful young ladies,
there you
and
go.
Yep.
the thing I have to say about having daughters is I feel like having girls will make you a better father. Like, it's one thing that you're already a man and you're like, oh yeah, I gotta teach my son how to do this, because you already know how to do that. But now when you're being a father to a girl, you got to kind of teach her those things, but not be as like, and still learn how to be sensitive, learn how to talk in a way that she'll understand you, and it won't be that you're being too hard. And I think having these 2 little girls has opened up some things. It's made me, drop my guard a little bit to be a little bit more emotional with them and stuff, to experience that side of life too.
Right. So Nate, any thoughts on that too?
Oh yeah, I'm learning all this stuff because I'm a new dad. So it's all taken in to me. Like, I made some mistakes being a new father. Uh, we're not gonna go there. But I let my anger get the best of me, and sometimes it's scary, and I didn't realize how scary I could be when I get angry. But um, with that being said, I'm learning to tone it down a little bit, being authoritative and just be silly sometimes, and just be sensitive, like Tato said, learning how to let your guard down.
Right.
I'm just now learning that. So I haven't got there yet, so I'm learning as I go.
Mm-hmm.
It's trial and error. Like there's no book how to be a father to a girl. You just gotta learn.
Right.
Get bumps and bruises.
True.
But
So
I think a woman. I
Mhm.
think I will say this: your wife or your woman can teach you a
Mhm.
little something if you watch them. Watch them and you watch how they interact with their daughters.
Mhm.
You can learn from them.
Mhm.
Yep, that's all it is.
So, when it comes to relationships, marriage, why is that so pivotal for families to really have that dynamic?
Don't put that in your mouth.
Why is it so important to have togetherness, family, instead of a single parent household? Because I've been through that too, single parent household, and that was rough. Why is it so important to have family togetherness?
I would say, real. I think one of the easiest answers, it took two people to make the baby, so it takes two people to raise the baby. I mean, as to me, it's pretty simple as that. You know, you can't make a baby. I can't put a baby out by myself. No, I need a woman for that. So,
Right.
you know, if you two are going to be adult enough to engage in the practices of baby making, then you two need to be adult enough to be in the practices of baby raising.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now, Tato. That's right. That's right, man. What I would
Amen.
say is it takes two
Amen.
because you need that balance. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you need the child needs the balance. That brain that's being developed needs the balance. They need to see the yin and the yang, and where they fit in the yin and the yang.
Mm-hmm.
So I know for me, it's like when you look at so many of these young men who grew up fatherless and they so highly emotional and they don't know how to work through problems. They don't know problem solving. Instead of problem solving, it's like the moment opposition comes, they willing to fight, kill, and whatever. Um, it's ridiculous, and I'm not speaking from a I don't know a place where I haven't experienced that myself. Had a neighbor who got arrested for attempted murder, and it's like when I would talk to him though, I saw um how his emotions would kick up really quickly, and I say that to say like I have seen in my experience what a young man who comes from a two-parent household looks like,
Mm-hmm.
and what a young man who comes from a single-parent household looks like.
Mm-hmm.
It really is night and day, and it's just like how they process certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Yeah, so you the yin and the yang. That's really what I'm going back to. Like a child needs to have that balance.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is going to be a single parent household, like my own personal life, then you have to make up that void, that lack, with some other things. Does that mean like some supplements? So sports is a big deal, and I can only attest to that for what it did to me. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and then when you give your life to something that has uh, a man that's already well versed in it that can pour into you, that too. So I'm not saying God because some people don't believe in that. Some people believe in the universe, which ultimately is God anyway. But the point I'm making is you have to have um, somebody who's been down that road
Mm-hmm.
before you that can pour into you about the pitfalls, the trials that you're going to face, and help guide you along, if that makes sense.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's important to have a two-parent home simply because when the parents break up or they get a divorce, it breaks the child's spirit.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I say it breaks the child's spirit is because the child ultimately can't pick between the mom and the dad all the time because it's hard when it's like ripping. You ever glue two pieces of paper together and
Mm-hmm.
you try to rip it apart. A part of that piece of the paper is with the other part, so it rips. That's what you're doing to that child. You're ripping apart
Mm-hmm.
that child's spirit.
Wow,
Yo,
Nate,
I
that
love
was
that
deep,
analogy,
man.
That's
man.
That was
a
good. That
super
was
deep
good,
analogy.
man.
Thank you, thank you.
You
Yeah,
going for
man.
your
And
ministerial license?
who knows, man? God's working through me, man. So but it's just like, and when that child is broken,
Mm-hmm.
it's only those pieces that can be put together by God. But also, when you look at it, in a deeper sense, that child is looking for the boy. Like, say, like you had that daughter grows up, she's looking for a man in her life because she didn't have a father, so she meets the wrong man. She gets involved with bad relationships and starts having children out of wedlock, and that's where it trickles down to the fact that a man's pivotal role in the family is crucial, and just like the woman's pivotal role, if you have a son, that son might choose the wrong woman because he doesn't know what a good woman looks like. So the first example of a godly woman is the mom, the nurturer that you have. So
yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, awesome. And
Yeah, that's good, Nate. That was
good,
Nate.
man.
Thank you.
That was really good. So one final thought right here. So let's say you was in a room by yourself and you have a camera and you have 2 minutes to describe life and what you want out of life for your kids. What would be the thoughts and words you would say? So you're in a room by yourself. You had a camera. You had to send a message to your kids about life, respect, honor, you name it. What would be your 2-minute talk track that you would say to your children? And I'll give you guys a few minutes if you want to process that. But I think that'd be really good so you can actually, you never know, share that out with your kids. Be like, this is what I want you to listen to. This is what I want you to follow along from my words and my thoughts. What would be those words that you would say to them, looking at them straight in the eye? What would be that sit down talk to them?
At what age are they?
Doesn't matter. If you can encompass everything in one thing, what would you say? I know that's like a tough one because
I would say respect yourself. Be transparent with yourself, which will allow you to be transparent with others. Love yourself. Love the people around you. Be kind as often as you can, as much as you can. But be true. Be true to yourself. Follow your heart, and don't ever doubt yourself. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's what I would say. Don't doubt yourself. Be kind. Respect yourself. Respect others. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's it. That's what I
nice,
would
man.
say.
Yeah. I think for me, for my little girls, I will probably say something along the lines of stay true to yourself. You know that you are going to be dealing with a lot of ups and downs, especially because you are going to be different than a lot of other kids, and even though you may not find your footing right away, you are beautiful, you're loved on all sides of your family, and to enjoy and keep that laughter, keep that giggle, keep that playfulness that you have, that will radiate through you and people will see it, just shine bright. The more you shine bright within yourself, everybody else will be able to see that glow.
Right. Well, I look at it like this, follow God all the way through, follow his footsteps, lead the path that was paved for you. Only inspiration that I get was, the footsteps quote that it says, where there was only two footsteps, it was that then you carried me. So when God carries you through life, like you can face obstacles like the COVID-19, like this racism that's going on in the world. Whether I'm here or whether I'm not here, I want you to still listen to God's voice in your ear. That's all I would say.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you guys very
Mhm.
much.
Thank you for having us, man.
Hey,
This was
hey,
it
that's
was
a
a lot of
loaded
fun.
question, man.
I know. I
Yeah,
know
right.
that's a loaded
I'm over here
question.
thinking about it right now.
I
It's
know.
like, yeah, you know,
No.
like that scene on Black Panther where he was like, he said a father that doesn't teach his son how to be a man before, like, what did he? Come on, help me out with that. What did he say? He said like, if
Uh,
I don't teach you how to be a man, then I didn't do my job or something like that. Like, y'all remember that scene?
Yes, yes, I
mm,
do.
What did he say, Nate?
I think it was Black Panther was saying like that one scene where father, he basically charged them like to live your life, but to follow your heart, and I'm he's basically the father's a part of who he is in the spirit. I guess I'm just paraphrasing.
Yeah, me too. It's like he said to him, if I haven't taught you how to how to survive when I'm going, then I didn't do my job.
Mhm.
And I
Yes.
mean, I just I embody that statement. It's like your job is to show them the direction they are to go. And
Hmm.
I'm almost kicking myself that I didn't mention God. Thank you, Nate, for mentioning God. But yeah, you
No
following
problem.
the things of God will always keep you in the light that Tado was talking about, so you can shine bright. And yeah, there will be opposition, but you got to understand there is no growth without struggle. And if you're supposed to be, I want you to be all that you can be, not like the army, but in order for you to be that, you are going to go through some some growing pains. You know
mm.
what I'm saying? And so just weather the storms and persevere. I think that I would also have to incorporate that in my 2 minute speech to my children.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Amen.
I found the quote, by the way. King T'Chaka said, "A man who has not prepared his children for his own death has failed as a father."
There it
Wow,
is.
that's
So if you
good.
take
Yeah.
so if you take that, he's basically saying that if I haven't prepared you to take care of yourself when I leave, then I failed
Right.
you.
Hmm.
Wow,
Absolutely. That's it.
that's good.
That's a mic drop right there,
Yeah,
Tado.
right.
It
Boom.
is. It's like boom. I'm out.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's it, man.
Remember that part with Lion King? The Lion King also. The
Yeah.
Lion King with Simba's dad left or died,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? And he said, I'm with you in the sky, and
Yeah.
it
Hmm.
was like
Yeah.
the clouds turned into Mufasa,
Yep.
and was and he said, remember who you are.
Hmm.
Yes.
Remember who
Yep.
you are.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's so good. And I gotta tell everybody on here is locked down. I gotta say, y'all, we married. What am I going on? 6 years now. But I just remember my bishop when I was going to marry her. He said, "Stay true to yourself." That's like one of the only things he said to me. He
Mm.
didn't say he
Mm,
gave me his blessing, but he said, "Make sure you stay true to yourself. Don't lose yourself." Yeah.
mm, it's good.
Mm.
It's
That's
good.
true. Awesome. Well,
Awesome.
thank you guys so much for just doing this podcast. Happy Father's Day to you and all the fathers out there. This is Errol E signing out.
Thank you.